On that mission. Next slide. The patients of greatest interest to energy oncology are those with gender-specific malignancies, including gynecologic, prostate, or breast cancer, and/or those patients with localized or locally advanced malignancies, which include other genitourinary malignancies, those originating in other sites such as the lungs, head neck region, brain, or gastrointestinal. If you look at energy oncology today, we're a robust group with activities all across the United States, Canada, and beyond. If you count those trials in follow-up, we have 136 active clinical trials. At the moment, we have 15 concepts approved by the NCI and in development to become new trials. If you look at our enrollment since we started our activities in 2014, we have over 60,000 patients. So see that the Korean War was occurring. Next slide. look at some of the group chairs, we are also very busy at this time. This is me with my older sister and mother. This is a pretty boy going to Walmart with that amazing hair, going about his life. Robert was just a twinkle in his parents' eyes at that time, but later we see that Robert and his brother joined his parents. Next slide. And if you look at the ancestry of energy oncology, it is really embedded in these three groups, what we refer to as our legacy groups, NSABP, RTOG, and GOG. And you can see their birth years also date back to the 1950s, 1967 and 1970. Next slide. We also saw in 1983 the NCI Community Clinical Oncology program known as CCOP was launched. This is the predecessor group to the current NCORP. Next slide. This really allowed community activities, community enrollment to the NCI cooperative system. And it's just a decade ago that the Institute of Medicine published a vision of a new national clinical trial system for the 21st century. They talked about how to transform the system, and indeed it was transformed, and energy oncology is one of the successful results of that. Next slide. This is the MCI National Clinical Trials Network structure. Energy oncology is one of 4 adult groups and one of 5 groups totally in the United States, along with the Canadian Network Group, and also participation in the NCORP program. Next slide. We do have a national community oncology research program, very active in NCORP. Next slide. And that's being led by Deb Bruner and Joel Walker. And you can see great activity that's gone on, and Deb will summarize that later. Next slide. 2013 was also a memorable year. We most importantly had the blackout during the Ravens 49ers Super Bowl. President Obama was in office, and we saw the human stem cells created by cloning. Next slide. In 2013 also was the year, next slide, when we saw energy oncology formally formed as a entity supported by the 3 legacy groups of NSABP and GOG.
You guys hear me?
Excellent.
Cool.
So at this point, energy oncology.
I don't know whether they have the old.
7 very active site committees.
Wait, can you talk real quick? I want to make sure I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm getting alerts. Zoom, stop telling me I'm meeting.
Yeah, that's me. I'm sorry, because they didn't. Their people. I updated it so that it's a Zoom, and it looks like they're both joining WebEx.
It's okay. I can text Ralph.
I figured since we're talking about Zoom, it'd probably be a good idea to actually be in it.
I agree.
You're on mute, Crystal, if you're talking.
I said Zoom got new features.
Yeah, I will say that there was a software update.
Now you could do something like as silly as being like, oh look, I'm on a TV.
What's even better, here, I'm going to stop sharing this video. Oh, that's new. Share.
Video filters.
Yeah, they went to filters, but they're all awful. There's like nothing good in here. Wes Anderson.
It's kind of funny.
I like this one. This one's my favorite one. I'm gonna stick with it.
Just so you know, you're being broadcast to YouTube right now.
That's okay.
It won't let me do a filter.
Did you do the update on your app It only happened yesterday or the day before.
Yeah, I updated it this morning, I believe.
Is it, are you seeing it under choose video background when you hit the up arrow?
Yeah,
It,
but when I get to the settings page, it just says none.
oh no,
I don't know. I'll figure it out.
I'll figure it out.
I'll get it. I'll
So
get it.
also new, Crystal, check this out.
Ew. Oh, that's horrible. I love it and I hate it, but I also love it. I
They're going for that Twitch view where like people are over the video that they're streaming.
So we would have to make people build a template, a PowerPoint with like the templates with nothing in that corner. Because you could like
Yep.
point the stuff above your head now. You can be like, oh, that makes my heart melt. I love that. They're totally saying up you to WebEx, but not really, because they don't have HIPAA compliant or anything else that would make them usable.
Yeah, I really wish that the two of them would just talk and figure it out, because
By adults.
All right, John.
so much fun.
John, I just texted Ralph. He's joining the Zoom link.
Cool.
Hey,
So,
stay like
It's probably
this.
my bad. But if you look on the YouTube link, I'll put it in the chat. It doesn't do this on the stream.
Oh no, it just does it in here.
It does it, but it puts you in a pip window up at the top with like whatever odd wording you have behind you just in that pip.
Interesting.
Check it out. I just sent it to everybody.
Yeah.
It's weird.
So I have the ability to select a filter. I just don't have any available in the settings.
On the stream.
So when people build streams, I'm suggesting we got to give them a template.
Got it.
Like whatever odd wording.
Ralph, are you there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Good. All right. Welcome to Zoom.
Yeah.
In the chat, John Little has the YouTube link just for testing purposes, and he's just going to run through a few things such as, you know, what we did yesterday with the WebEx.
Yeah, I saw some of that. I couldn't make it until about 15 minutes into it. So
It's all right. I was on for a while. Again, what's nice about the WebEx, just like the Zoom here, it's very easy to just essentially, even in like the Wowza format, we just essentially, when you open up Zoom and WebEx, it just asks for the credentials. We give the streaming key from Wowza over to one of these platforms, and it works pretty seamlessly. Just, you know, and using YouTube, it's almost harder to use it in YouTube because YouTube is so restrictive, but it's the same workflow. But essentially for the beginning of the meeting, we essentially get the Wowza window open, we add the credentials, start streaming the meeting, and then it's live. It's almost as if like we have to prime the pump before we start the motor, if you will. But that's really just the limitation with the platform. We got to start the event room first, which is good because we can get everyone on first as like a green room. And then when we're ready to start streaming, then we can push the start streaming, add the credentials.
yeah,
and then,
that's a feature. That's not a bug. That's a good thing.
right. Yeah. I don't think that's a problem at all. So, and on the WebEx side, if you didn't see it, I think that the two different things that we'll have for the WebEx is if we're sharing content, the slides are primary, and the active speaker is in the corner pipped, which is what you're seeing now with the Zoom on through the stream. And when you deselect content, it goes to that panel view that we spoke of where the active speaker is large, but the rest of the panel is in that film strip line on the bottom.
Right, right.
So I think that that's really more or less like our philosophy is if we're using WebEx for the stream, the idea is that when you're presenting, it's a one at a time camera view. But if we go to a panel discussion or Q&A like that, we would hide content and have just the camera images be primary.
All right. But the camera, so basically it will take focus whoever is the active speaker.
Right.
And now if there are going back and forth, they're going to bounce back and forth. In other words, somebody coughs, it's going to, unless they're muted, unless they mute themselves.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it's a matter of us training them that if they're not active in the conversation, their mic is muted. That's
Right,
it.
and we don't have, there's no admin control over that because we're not actually in WebEx. Well, technically you are.
We're going to have to deal with it. I mean, this disease knows no boundaries.
The
Sorry.
host of the meeting, the technician that I have scheduled, Justin, whether we're Zoom or WebEx, if they're the host of the green room, if you will, they have microphone control. So they can go through and mute people that may be causing noise. So that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I've done similar things myself where I've had to do that, and it's like the same as doing it live. You know, when you're kind of, you know, you might just miss the initial, like somebody says something, and then there'll be a minor kind of, you know, delay when they go to full screen because, you know, it takes a little while for the software to pick it up. But that's fine. All that totally works. There's no official way to lock the grid down for a single view, though, right?
Yeah, and that was my next thing, John. If you can you unselect content like unshare and just show camera feeds? I want to see how that looks on the YouTube.
Yep. It should go live in 10 seconds or so.
Yeah, that's fine.
I believe it's just speaker view. It's not going to be grid.
Right, which is again depending on how it looks here. Well,
oh no, I'm wrong. I wonder if it's based on my stream, which I just had grid up. So let me, if you want, I'll check out speaker view and see if that changes it.
Isn't it great that we're testing this, John?
Yeah. Hey Ralph, I don't need to put up any curtains. We're kind of figuring this out as we're talking here.
Yeah.
So,
It's fine. I've been down this road many times, so I'm not. I'm just a friendly observer, you know. So
John,
yeah.
I just saw it switch.
Yeah, it's now on presenter view.
Okay, so Ralph, an advantage of Zoom is that you have more camera control of what is broadcasted out. I will say that is an advantage to Zoom in that, unlike WebEx, it seems like the host's view controls the stream view.
and just let's just explore that for a second, in terms of your your really good detailed answers to my questions about showing video content. If there's a movie within a PowerPoint, Zoom won't really have the same issues that you've got WebEx meetings versus WebEx events in terms of frame rates.
No, but yeah, again, yeah, Zoom in terms of playing back video, that's all standard. And then Crystal, again, I'm sorry, I didn't introduce. Crystal is one of our other production managers, and she is much more knowledgeable about this particular platform. Crystal is, in terms of one feature that we were looking at was how WebEx events has this practice session green room where you can put a curtain up. But I'm wondering if we need to cut the feed temporarily, is there a way in this particular Zoom to stop the stream or to put up, you know, some sort of hold?
Unfortunately, there's not. Once you go live, it's live. Unless you are doing events, you do have that green room start broadcasting option. Otherwise, unfortunately, once you hit go, you know, you're full on.
So Ralph, starting the event doesn't seem to be a big deal because we, like, if the event starts at 8 a.m., we get people in at 7:30, and then before we start, that's when we actually start the stream. I think the workflow would be, one, if we had to stop it for any emergency reason or go to, you know, a holding thing, or if we go to break or you know, lunch, if you will, and we don't want to stop the stream. My thought would be that at that point, the host puts up a break slide.
Yeah.
Everyone turns off their cameras. And John Little, this would also be a setting that I'll run by you and Crystal. I believe Zoom has a setting where you can enable that if someone has their camera feed off, they're not part of the active grid. Is that correct?
That's correct. And you're also going to be able to, at that point, shut everybody's microphones off.
Yep.
Okay.
Real quick, I'll do that so you can see me disappear. So you see IMS, John Little IMS.
Mm-hmm.
If you hit, so whoever the host is, I am. But if you hit hide non-video participants by the three little dots there,
Yeah.
it should only be you and Ralph now.
Well, let's see what the stream does.
Yeah, I'm
Let's
watching
let
the stream,
it
so.
up.
She went out, and you and I are still there.
So so John, on the stream, I'm just seeing your name with a black screen.
Yeah, because he was talking during that.
Got it. Yeah, I guess I just have to wait for
Oh,
it.
okay, so if you mute the mics, then we won't, because the name will pop up instead of the video.
There you go. All right. So John, can you put it on the grid view though? I want to know if Ralph and I pop up together, because this would be a scenario where the technician hides, but Ralph and I would still be part of this wonderful fireside chat that we're having.
Wow, that would be great.
Yep, there you go.
Okay.
I am the host, and I have
Yeah.
non-video participants hidden, and so now it's just you and Ralph.
Ralph, this is exactly what you need.
Yeah,
The tech team hides. They're not on the stream at all. And then anyone who has their camera open is on the grid for the panel.
yeah,
And then the only thing we have to explain to them is then when we share content, we go to the active speaker view in the top corner there.
So heads up, I don't know how to remove the Zoom watermark on the live stream.
don't worry about it.
WebEx has the same thing.
There's potentially a fix for that I can think of, but I'm not really worried about it. Let me just check my notes here for a sec. It looks, I mean,
Please.
I'm definitely leaning towards Zoom here.
Yeah.
Let me check. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think this will work. I don't see anything in my notes here that I'm missing. Like, is more on the website side of things at this point.
And Ralph, I'll say this, if Chop has any security questions about Zoom, one, Zoom has gotten a lot better in terms of that. And this is just a stage environment. We're not conducting the meeting within Zoom. We're just using Zoom as our virtual stage.
As a broadcast, yeah.
Yeah, so we're just using it for a particular thing, and then we're streaming it out to the player page. So in terms of privacy, then it's really whoever has access to the microsite page, that's who gets to watch the stream.
Right, and just to touch on that, you know, we're going to have a login for that. So people with the meeting password and the, you know, they'll be filling in their username and email address and their password.
How many attendees do you think would be a part of this first one?
About 150
Got it.
to 200.
Got it. All right. That's good to know for when we're doing the registration, and we'll put together like a login page with a password, you know. So.
Right. Hold on, John. One sec. Sorry, the thrills of working at home.
Understood.
So can you repeat that again, John? I'm sorry, I got distracted.
Oh no, I just, you know, part of the production process, and our creative designer Lindsay's working on the microsite.
Yep.
She'll have something, I think by Tuesday, Wednesday, that we can show in front of the client.
Okay.
And part of that will be a login that will have like a general password that we can put in, and then people can log in with that password.
Right. And so tell me about the transition from, can we see that? How we transition from, say, a slide to the speaker view? I mean, to the, to a panel?
Yeah.
Yep. So best practice is probably to share the actual file. Let me go to there.
And Ralph, workflow wise, this would either be our technician sharing the slides from our studio, or you or someone else could be that presenter person who shares and unshares on demand. You know what I mean? That you would cue that.
All right. So in other words, you could have one. Okay, wait a minute. So if we're managing, how does that work? If we're managing the presentations, let's say back at IMS Central, you've got
So I
slide
think
decks.
part of this would be that in order to control the view, someone other than the clients would have to control when we share slides and when we do not share slides, so that we can have this moderator view or this panel grid view or the slide with the pipped view. So it may get confusing for the panel, but I think our workflow would be, you know, if we arrange it so, you know, someone presents, and when they're done presenting, we hide the slides for Q&A and discussion. And then when it's time for the next presentation, then we share it. But I think it's better if we actually control that share, so it's cued and scripted, and then people
Ralph,
follow along.
I just shared with you the ability to control the slides. So
Okay,
if you hit accept.
Okay, so that's just something we have to go over with them.
Yeah.
You can control.
Yeah, well,
I didn't get an accept.
We'll have to. We'll have to have.
Oh, wait a minute, no, because I'm actually looking at YouTube.
So if you go to Zoom accept control, and then if you hit the right arrow key, it should advance the slides.
Awesome. All right, hang on. Let me get there. Too many windows open. Desktop is looking a mess. Right, stop.
Hey, John, I hate to do this, but I'm gonna have to jump off to get ready for my next meeting.
Oh, me too. Actually, I'm with you.
Okay.
Ralph, I'm so sorry.
You just moved it, Ralph.
I see it. Not sure. Oh, I see. It's built. Got it. Okay, so now just take it back.
Yep, I have it now.
Okay, and so now let's go to our panel view.
Stop share.
Right, so
Now we're in
bounce back to the
panel.
speaker and then go to panel.
Yeah, and if you look at your YouTube, that should follow. You have your PIP of the speaker with their control over it, and it should switch right about now.
Yeah, Ralph, I think this is the overwhelming choice. You have way more control options here. And I say that being that I'm the WebEx guy at my company. So I'm just going to be honest. I think that you're going to get way more polished.
I know, John, you've been trying to get in on the Zoom thing for quite a while, so this is your opportunity now. You know.
Oh, hey, I'm getting in on the bottom floor. Crystal, I'll be your assistant.
I'll take you on
That's fine.
Take you on any floor you got there, John.
It's funny because I'm mostly doing things in WebEx.
Oh, there you go.
Anyway,
Everybody wins.
For trade.
We're all well-rounded.
so Ralph, I'm going to say goodbye because I have to jump on a call. But again, we'll connect. Most importantly, after we're done the holiday weekend, I'll connect with you about how the microsite's coming along. Our goal is that John Little and I can do a test similar to this, but streaming to the Wowza player on the microsite. That's going to be our end goal in front of the client.
I understand. Okay, that's fine. I mean, it doesn't and there it's pretty much transparent to them. I know you got to go. We can talk more about it later. So
perfect. All right.
Well done, guys. Who knew? You know.
One way or another.
Right.
Thanks, Ralph. And if you use this link, that should still be live after the fact for the recording for YouTube if you want to hold on to that.
Did I get the YouTube link? Oh, it's in here on the, there it is right there. Okay. Let's see.
It's the viewer that you're already using.
Yeah, let me copy that. Let me take a quick peek. Okay, great.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys very much.
All right, talk to you soon. Bye.